This is Nightline. Tonight, a mother's anguish. The mother of the missing woman in the Bahamas speaking out.
I want the truth.
This as the husband is arrested and detained, then freed. Why she says there's more to the story.
My daughter called me and she was crying and she said she couldn't take any more.
Plus, Britney Spears checks into rehab following her recent arrest for DUI. What her friends and family are saying tonight. And Skyking, the man with no flying experience stealing a commercial jetliner.
I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit.
The panicky recordings.
Any idea if a Dash 8 Q400 can do a barrel roll?
As air traffic controllers spring into action.
Yeah, 449, so you hijacked the plane is what you're saying?
Yeah.
A new documentary detailing how he did it and the story behind the story. Plus, Bieberchella. The surprising set from Justin Bieber, what some of his fans had to say about it. From ABC News headquarters in New York, this is Nightline. Good evening, thank you for joining us. Tonight, the ABC interview with the mother, Lynette Hooker, the woman missing in the Bahamas, her husband telling authorities she fell overboard from the dinghy they were in. Lynette's mother says there's much more to this story. Tonight, the husband of a woman missing at sea in the Bahamas, Brian Hooker, released from police custody.
Brian, anything to say? Any conditions on his release that you can share right now?
No, not at this time. I haven't really spoken to him. He came out, he was emotional.
It's been over a week since his wife, Lynette, disappeared.
She's strong. She used to run marathons. She does yoga, or she did yoga. She could swim, scuba dive, brought up on a lake, knows how to manage boats.
Lynette's anguished mother speaking out after her daughter vanished off the coast of Elbow Key.
My daughter is a very lovely lady. I'm gonna miss her terribly.
Brian says he and his wife had drinks at this inn on the night of the 4th, later departing from this dock. Brian, in his own words, describing the moment he says she fell from a boat due to bad weather in the Bahamas and was swept away.
The wind blew us apart so fast that I think she tried to swim back to the sailboat, back to our sailboat, which was probably, 1,000 yards or something. But the waves were 3 foot.
In a phone call to a friend made the day before he was arrested, Brian Hooker is saying he tried to rescue her.
I threw her a flotation cushion that we used to sit on the dinghy, right after she went in. But I couldn't tell if she got it or not. I'm never gonna forgive myself.
Brian Hooker says that he went from Elbow Keys to Marsh Harbor. Now, law enforcement says that it should have taken him about 20 minutes considering the distance and the weather at the time, but it took him 8 hours, which raises the question, what happened in all that time?
But police taking Brian into custody 4 days later, questioning him about the night of Lynette's disappearance. The 59-year-old maintaining his innocence. He says before losing sight of his wife, he threw a life preserver to her, but that she was swept away by a strong current.
There is no evidence that she is dead. Their main focus seemed to be looking at him as a suspect. And he feels that they should be out there looking, trying to find his wife.
Brian Hooker is in this weird kind of gray area. They don't have what's called probable cause. But they do have enough information to hold him for a short period of time to ask him additional questions, to continue their investigation. There's a time frame as to how long prosecutors and law enforcement can keep him in that legal purgatory.
Lynette's daughter, Carly, previously telling ABC News she had doubts about Brian's account.
She's a good swimmer, she's pretty fit, and I don't feel like she would just fall off a boat.
Also saying there was turmoil in the relationship.
They were in the healthiest relationship at the end.
Lynette's mother suspicious of her son-in-law's story and calling for a full investigation.
She was a safety nut in water, wore her life jackets, and was very careful and respectful. She watched the weather station religiously, and to her to get on this dinghy and fall off and not be able to swim back to it.
Lynette and Brian Hooker have been married for 25 years, her mother saying they had an off-the-grid lifestyle.
In 2020, Brian and Lynette sold their house and all of their possessions. And their dream was to get a boat. They lived quite an interesting lifestyle, living on a boat, getting rid of everything you ever had.
Their Instagram grid, though, full of photos and videos, documenting the sailing hookers, picture-perfect adventures at sea. But Darlene describes their relationship as volatile.
It's been a very turbulent relationship. They had very highs and very lows.
Documents obtained by ABC affiliate WZZM describe a 2005 domestic incident involving Hooker and his young daughter at the time in which he was accused of putting his hands around her neck, a jury later acquitting him. ABC News also obtaining a 2015 police report detailing an alleged domestic incident between the two, both accusing each other of assault. Police noting that Brian had a bloody nose, taking Lynette into custody, but ultimately neither facing charges.
Past instances of domestic violence or abuse, any altercation, argument prior to this incident could be the building blocks of a case moving forward. But without the foundation of any evidence to show that Brian Hooker killed Lynette, those building blocks will just fall by the wayside.
But for right now, there seems to be more questions than answers. Lynette's mother just wants the truth.
I just want the truth to come out, and I'm hoping that they can do that, and I hope they find her.
We'll, of course, continue to follow this story as it unfolds. We turn now to Britney Spears, checking herself into a rehab facility over the weekend, following her recent arrest for driving under the influence and growing concerns from her friends, family, and fans. Here's ABC's Lara Spencer.
Britney Spears has chosen to check herself into rehab. A rep for the star confirming to ABC News she has voluntarily checked herself into a treatment facility just over a month after being arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of alcohol and drugs. On the night of March 4th, California Highway Patrol responded to reports of erratic driving. They say Spears pulled off the highway and submitted to field sobriety tests. She was placed under arrest, booked, and spent the night in jail, and released the next morning. Her representatives calling the event unfortunate and inexcusable, saying, "Hopefully this can be the first step in long overdue change that needs to occur in Britney's life. Her boys are going to be spending time with her. Her loved ones are going to come up with an overdue, needed plan to set her up for success for well-being." In the weeks since her arrest, Spears has been posting images with her two sons, 20-year-old Sean Preston and 19-year-old Jaden James, whom she shares with ex Kevin Federline. The caption of one of those posts thanking the public for their support, adding that spending time with family and friends is such a blessing.
Our thanks to Lara. And now a look ahead at tomorrow's show. We go inside the world of teen hackers, tech-savvy Gen Zers descending into a life of cybercrime. The young hacker behind a historic breach speaking out days before reporting to jail.
I wouldn't say everyone needs prison, but I think I need to go to prison for what I did.
And when we come back, they called him Skyking, boldly stealing a jetliner from a major airport, causing terror and chaos.
Yeah, 449, so you hijacked the plane is what you're saying? Yeah.
The story behind the story, after the break. Welcome back. Now the story behind a story that commanded headlines. A young man with no flying experience stealing a jetliner and taking to the skies from a major U.S. airport. Tonight, hear the chilling air tower communications and friends and family recalling how that day unfolded. Here's ABC's Morgan Norwood.
Hey, Horizon Ground, you on? Seattle Ground, I mean.
Who's transmitting on ramp?
Sorry, Horizon Guy 449, Quebec X-ray.
Yeah, 449. Did you just take off?
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to be on that aircraft?
No.
What's going on? Are you flying the plane?
I did a kind of a bad thing, kind of a selfish thing, but it's all good. I'm gonna go check out Rainier.
Yeah, 449, so you hijacked the plane is what you're saying?
Yeah.
On one unremarkable sunny summer day in 2018, the unbelievable happened.
We begin tonight with the deadly drama in the skies over Seattle, taking off right from the runway.
The FBI now in charge of this case.
Video capturing his maneuvers.
One man at his breaking point, bringing one of the busiest airports in the country to a halt.
You hear the FAA asking these questions, right? Is he a terrorist? Is he a prankster? Is he a hero? Is he a villain?
And I thought it was a joke. Yeah, I didn't really know how to soak it all in or absorb it. It took me by surprise.
I didn't know what to think. Bieber's not a pilot. What was he doing in the plane?
Richard Russell, known as Bebo to his friends and family, was a 28-year-old ground employee with Horizon Air, with no flight experience, hijacking an empty passenger plane at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
But to be clear, Bebo, Richard Russell, is not a pilot.
Oh, this guy had never flown a plane in his life. He played video game simulators. That's how he taught himself.
I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit. I know how to put the landing gear down.
It came out, it was a ground service agent. I said, well, who is it? And when they said Richard, I couldn't believe it at all. What he did without a co-pilot, it's nuts.
Stunning onlookers.
Are you sure he's not gonna hit us?
Immediately stirring up fears.
No, it was obviously very alarming to the people on the ground. We're living in a post-9/11 America. It's scary when someone takes a plane and you don't know why, and they're not supposed to be there. But little by little, over the course of the flight, he unwinds more about who he is and what he's doing.
Now, a new documentary, Skyking, on Hulu and Disney+.
Yeah, hey, we just had a Dash 8. He's just taken up taxi out of Cargo 1. He never called us.
Peeling back the layers of what happened the day the world stood still and everyone looked up, riveted by one man and his actions whose final moments were captured on air traffic control audio.
Okay, and you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
Nah, everything's peachy clean. Just did a little circle around Rainier. It's beautiful. I think I got some gas to go check out the Olympics. And, yeah.
Patricia Gillespie is the film's director.
I want you to take me back to 2018 and give me your perspective of when you first saw this story.
I was sitting in my bed, sort of looking through social media, and I heard this voice. And I think the first thing I heard was, he has this line.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy. Got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now.
I found that so arresting that we're listening to this man, in the last hour of his life, speaking so frankly about what's going on, what his mental state is.
Russell's family and friends painting a picture of a complicated man.
Who is Richard Russell? He's he's Bebo. He's my brother. He's a loving, compassionate. He was a family-oriented guy.
He was the kind of guy that would give you the shirt off his back. He was always good for a joke. So he's kind-hearted, loving, just a fantastic human being.
He was one of the nicest guys around, willing to help you if you needed help with anything. He was a guy that you could talk to.
His life troubled by a darkness he couldn't quite shake, even in the skies.
I do not want to hurt anyone, so no need to fear me.
Okay, we're just concerned because it sounds like you shouldn't be piloting that aircraft. Is there other people on board?
No, I figured it's going to be an hour, right? So just take it out for a spin.
So it's just you on board?
Yes, sir. I wouldn't want to hurt anyone else.
I had no idea he was feeling any kind of pain. He never let on that he was unhappy because he always put on that happy-go-lucky face.
Part of that struggle coming from dissatisfaction with his work.
The day-to-day work was tough. It was hard. We worked very hard, underpaid. And so it was very stressful. The pay sucked.
His more than hour-long joyride on a stolen plane turned into an almost jaw-dropping feat of aerial acrobatics. Bieber, the non-pilot, doing a barrel roll in a commercial airliner.
Basically, like, it's a backflip in a plane. It's a very dangerous, intense move.
A firm, he cleared the surface of the water by approximately 10 feet.
He did it. He completed the barrel roll.
To see him do something that couldn't be done, that shouldn't be done, and he seemed to do it effortlessly.
You know, some people, rightfully so, look at this and see this 20-something-year-old white male stole the plane, takes this joyride, and the response was almost like handling a kid with gloves, right?
I think if Bieber had shown up with an accent, probably this might not have gone the same way, right? There are a lot of preconceived notions, and certainly there is unconscious bias that afforded him probably more latitude in whether those fighter jets shot him down or not. He just was behaving in a way that was incredibly unusual for someone who had stolen a plane. So I think there's a lot going on there.
And minutes after that seemingly impossible feat, the inevitable, Bieber Russell crashed into nearby Ketron Island, dying by suicide. He would be the only casualty from that day. Bieber's family now speaking out about the importance of listening to what your loved ones are really saying and how complex mental health challenges can really be.
Suicide's a real problem. It has huge implications on not just your life, but your family's lives and the people that love you. And if you need help, you got to talk to somebody, and you can't just keep things inside, you know?
What do you think the lesson is here, and what can we learn from Bieber's story?
My greatest hope for this film is that it encourages people to check in on each other, to answer the question, how are you, with more openness and sincerity, to get help when they need it, to understand that's strong and not weak.
Our thanks to Morgan. Skyking is now streaming on Disney+, Hulu, and Nat Geo. When we come back, Justin Bieber's unorthodox set at Coachella, why his fans are talking and divided. And finally tonight, what was happening at Bieberchella? Justin Bieber's highly anticipated set at Coachella this weekend, thrilling some fans.
I don't know, it felt so intimate and raw, and that's what I wanted.
And confounding others.
Why is Justin Bieber playing karaoke at Coachella?
The superstar in shorts, boots, and a hoodie, playing his own vintage song clips like Baby from his laptop, while singing over them Beliebers breaking the internet with mixed reviews. And that's Nightline for this evening. Watch all of our full episodes on Disney+ and Hulu. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for the company, America. Good night.